At the farthest edge of the Philippine archipelago lies a place that time has almost forgotten, a stretch of emerald mountains and sapphire seas, where the land breathes, and the ocean remembers. This is Palawan, often called the last frontier. Spanning more than 400 kilometers from north to south, Palawan is not just an island, it's a living chain of wilderness. 1,700 smaller islands and islets scatter like jewels across the Sulu Sea. To the east, coral reefs shimmer beneath the waves. To the west, limestone cliffs rise like ancient fortresses. Palawan is home to one of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth, a sanctuary for sea turtles, hornbills, dugongs, and the rare Palawan bearcat. Here, nature speaks softly but clearly if you stop long enough to listen, but beyond its beauty lies a story of survival, resilience, and balance between people and the planet. This is a journey through land and sea, through ancient caves and coral gardens, a journey to understand why Palawan is not just a destination, but a message from Earth itself. Our story begins in Puerto Princesa, the beating heart of this wild paradise. The first thing you notice when you land in Puerto Princesa is the air. It's warm and heavy with salt, but clean, almost impossibly clean. In a country of over 7,000 islands, Palawan feels different, quieter, greener, more patient. Puerto Princesa is not a big city, it's a gateway. A pause between civilization and wilderness. Here, modern life meets the slow rhythm of the islands. The streets hum with the sound of tricycles, small, colorful sidecars buzzing through markets scented with grilled fish and calamansi. The people of Palawan are famously warm. To them, hospitality is not a service, it's a way of life. They live by a simple truth: if you take care of the island takes care of you. Tourism here is built on sustainability. Every resort, every eco-tour, every visitor is asked to respect the delicate balance of this ecosystem. From solar-powered lodges to plastic-free policies, Puerto Princesa has quietly become a model for responsible tourism in Southeast Asia. Beyond the city limits, the true heart of Palawan begins to reveal itself, a network of rivers and forests, home to the Tagbanua and Batak tribes, guardians of ancient traditions that predate the Spanish era. I meet a local guide, Manuel, a quiet man with eyes that reflect both the sea and the sky. He tells me, in Palawan, the mountains and the ocean are one family. What happens to one, happens to the other. His words echo the philosophy that defines life here: interconnection. It's not just ecology, it's a way of being, even in daily life. Palawan reminds its people, and its guests, that beauty and responsibility must travel together. The sun begins to set over Puerto Princesa Bay, painting the sky in liquid gold. Boats return to shore, and the city slows into a quiet rhythm. Somewhere beyond the mangroves lies a river, hidden beneath the earth, flowing through darkness for millions of years. Tomorrow, I will journey there, to one of the planet's greatest natural wonders. Morning in Palawan arrives softly, a whisper of wind, the hush of distant waves. From Puerto Princesa, the journey to Sabang takes only a couple of hours, but it feels like a passage into a deeper world. A world untouched by haste. The road winds through mountains draped in rainforest. Here, the forest is alive, not just with birdsong, but with history. These are among the oldest landscapes in the archipelago, and they are still shaping themselves. We arrive at Sabang, a quiet village that serves as the threshold to a place that defies imagination. Beyond these mangroves, beneath that limestone ridge, flows a river older than civilization, the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River, one of the 7 new wonders of nature. The river disappears into the mountain and travels 8 kilometers under stone, a cathedral carved by patience, one drop at a time. We switch from sunlight to darkness, gently, as the oarsman paddles us into the unknown. Every sound becomes magnified: the tap of paddle on water, the flutter of bat wings high above, the quiet gasp of those seeing this for the first time. These walls began forming more than 20 million years ago. What we behold today is the slow triumph of water over rock. The artistry of nature across eons. Shapes emerge: a giant candle, a cathedral tower, a frozen waterfall suspended in time. Our minds search for meaning in the randomness, because humans are storytellers. Even in darkness, we imagine in some caverns. The ceiling rises 65 meters above our heads, taller than a 20-story building, yet the river remains calm, humble, guiding us deeper. The creatures that live here, cave crabs, blind fish, bats, rely on instincts older than sight. They are evolution's quiet masterpieces, perfectly adapted to a world without light. Conservation teams monitor this ecosystem carefully. Too much human presence could throw off the delicate balance. Only a select portion of the river is open to visitors. The rest remains in sacred darkness. Then, as silently as it began, The journey turns toward the light again, the exit appears like a glowing wound in the mountain, a reminder that the world outside still waits. Returning to daylight feels like waking from a dream older than humanity. The locals say the river is alive, it breathes through its openings, and it remembers every drop that has ever touched its stone, whether myth or metaphor. It makes you wonder what else the earth remembers. Beyond Sabang, Palawan's wonders are not confined to darkness. Ahead lies a coastline so dramatic that it seems drawn by a restless artist, where mountains rise straight from the sea, and colors exist that painters spend lifetimes trying to capture. We travel north, to a place called El Nido, where the ocean has shattered the mountains into 1,000 breathtaking pieces. North of Puerto Princesa, the road narrows, and the land begins to dissolve into ocean. What was once mountain becomes island, what was once forest becomes coral reef, and at the edge of it all lies El Nido. The name means the nest. It comes from the swiftlets that build their edible nests high in these cliffs, but it could just as easily describe the feeling of safety you get here. Cradled by nature, surrounded by beauty on all sides. El Nido is a place where the earth appears to have shattered, scattering fragments of paradise across the sea. There are 45 islands and countless lagoons, each one shaped by wind, water, and time into something entirely unique. It's hard to believe this was once a quiet fishing village. Today, it's the center of Palawan's ecotourism revolution, a living example of how travel and preservation can coexist. Good morning from Bacuit Bay. Behind me, you can see just a few of the limestone islands that make El Nido so famous. What makes this place special isn't just the scenery, it's the way nature and people have found balance here. Every island, every lagoon has its own rhythm and its own story. The first stop is Big Lagoon, a vast basin surrounded by cliffs that rise like ancient sentinels. At high tide, boats float over corals that glimmer just below the surface. At low tide, the lagoon transforms, water retreats, revealing limestone scars carved by centuries of tides. Scientists call this karst topography, born when rainwater, slightly acidic, slowly dissolves limestone. What takes minutes for rain to fall takes millennia for rock to surrender. Each groove and overhang tells a story of erosion, of persistence, of time. If you look closely, you can actually see tiny fish darting just beneath the surface. The water here is so clear it feels unreal. Locals say the lagoon has its own spirit. It welcomes those who enter gently and punishes those who disturb it. It's a beautiful reminder of how fragile this ecosystem really is. Beyond Big Lagoon, smaller islands dot the horizon, each one with a secret waiting to be discovered. Secret Beach, accessible only through a narrow opening in the rock, hidden from the open sea. To reach it, you must swim through darkness, guided only by a shaft of light ahead. What you find inside is a hidden cove, ringed by cliffs, untouched by waves, nature's secret sanctuary. The explorer Jacques Cousteau once called Palawan one of the most beautiful places on earth. Standing here, it's easy to understand why. It's not just scenery, it's design at a planetary scale, but El Nido is not only about isolation, it's about connection, the web of life that binds every island and every creature. Beneath these waters lies a kingdom of coral, more than 800 species, forming part of the Coral Triangle, the richest marine ecosystem on the planet. Here, coral reefs are the rainforests of the sea, nurseries for fish, protectors of shorelines, barometers of ocean health. But these reefs face threats: rising temperatures, pollution, careless tourism. To protect them, El Nido has adopted strict regulations. Limited daily visitors, no anchoring on reefs, and all boats must maintain distance from sensitive zones. The goal is not just to save what exists, but to ensure that future generations inherit a living, thriving sea. You can travel the world and see 1,000 beaches, but there's something about Palawan that stays with you. Maybe it's the silence, maybe it's the sense that everything here still breathes in its natural rhythm. Every grain of sand, every ripple of water feels alive. As the sun sets over Bacuit Bay, the cliffs turn gold, then red, then indigo. Boats return home, their silhouettes etched against a horizon of fire. The ocean cools, and night descends with the hush of eternity. In the stillness, you realize beauty here isn't just seen, it's felt. Tomorrow, the journey continues, north again, across open sea, toward a place where history lies beneath the waves. To the north of El Nido, beyond reefs and narrow channels, lies Coron Bay, a place where the sea holds memories too heavy to float. Here, beneath calm blue water, rests an entire fleet, a silent museum of war, transformed by time into gardens of coral. In September 1944, US planes attacked a Japanese supply fleet hiding among these islands. Within minutes, 24 ships were destroyed, merchant vessels, gunboats, oil tankers, all swallowed by the sea. For decades, they lay forgotten. Today, divers from around the world descend to see them, not as wreckage, but as reefs reborn. And the deeper you go, the quieter the world becomes. The hull of a ship appears first as a shadow, then as a cathedral of steel and coral. At 20 meters, a propeller the size of a man's body is draped in sea fans. At 30, a gun turret now shelters clownfish. Rusting corridors echo with the hum of parrotfish grazing. Life has reclaimed death, metal turned into ecosystem, tragedy into balance. What's incredible about Coron is that it's both a war memorial and a living reef. When you descend to the wrecks, you're literally swimming through history, but every inch of it is covered in coral, soft sponge, seaweed. Nature didn't erase what happened here, it healed it. Inside the ships, light flickers through broken panels like stained glass, air bubbles slide along ceilings of rust. Schools of jackfish drift through cargo holds where engines once roared. Few places on Earth show the passage of time so clearly, where human history and natural rebirth share the same breath above the surface. Life in Coron moves at an older rhythm. The Tagbanua people, one of Palawan's oldest indigenous communities, call these islands home. They believe the sea and the mountains are living ancestors, guardians of both the living and the dead. The Tagbanua people were here long before the divers, long before tourism. Their connection to these waters is spiritual. They navigate by stars, fish only what they need, and protect sacred lagoons where outsiders are rarely allowed. In 1998, the Tagbanua were granted ancestral rights over their island domain, one of the first indigenous communities in the Philippines to legally own the sea. Their stewardship helped preserve the balance that keeps Coron alive today. Not far from Coron Bay lies Kayangan Lake, often called the cleanest lake in Asia, half fresh, half salt. Its water shifts color from emerald to sapphire depending on the sun. Beneath the surface, stalagmites rise like underwater forests. Above, limestone cliffs wrap around like the walls of a fortress. To swim here is to move through time, through rock older than humanity itself. You can actually feel the minerals in the water. It's not cold, it's alive. It's almost like floating inside the Earth's memory. Coron's lagoons are geological puzzles, where salt water meets fresh, where light bends differently, where the body feels two temperatures at once. Scientists call it thermocline, locals call it magic. Each layer supports different life, algae in one, tiny shrimp in another, forming an invisible tapestry of coexistence. Everywhere you look in Coron, there's this feeling that the sea isn't just a backdrop, it's a character in the story. It gives, it takes, it remembers. For the people of Palawan, the ocean is both livelihood and teacher. It offers lessons in humility, because here, you realize how small we really are. Coron's beauty isn't accidental, it's the result of restraint, of a community that chose protection over exploitation. As the sun dips behind the cliffs, Coron transforms again. The wrecks below turn into dark memories. Above, the stars ignite one by one. On clear nights, you can see the Milky Way arching over the sea, a bridge of light connecting the living and the dead, the past and the future. In the silence, you realize the truth that Palawan whispers through every tide. Nature forgets nothing, but it forgives everything. The sea took lives and gave them back as coral. The land bore scars and turned them into beauty. Here, the world's wounds are not erased, they're healed. Coron isn't just a destination, it's a reminder that no matter what we do, life always finds its way back. Where the island's heartbeat lies deepest, in the veins of rock and river beneath Puerto Princesa. This is the entrance to the underground river, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of nature. Stretching more than 8 kilometers beneath the limestone mountain of St. Paul, it is a world untouched by sunlight, yet full of life. Inside, every sound is amplified. The echo of water dripping, the flutter of bats, the whisper of the oars. Stalactites hang like frozen waterfalls, the walls glisten with mineral veins. Here, the earth speaks in silence, a language of patience, written in stone. When you're inside, you lose all sense of time. You don't know if minutes or hours have passed. It's humbling to realize there's a world this vast, existing quietly below us, whether we see it or not. The underground river is more than a natural wonder, it's a map of creation itself. Every curve and chamber is carved by water that has flowed here for millions of years. It's proof that nature needs no audience to be magnificent. When you return to the surface, the light feels almost sacred. The forest surrounding the river teems with macaques, hornbills, and monitor lizards, the guardians of this ancient place. Life thrives even in the quietest corners, proof that beauty and resilience share the same root. We started this journey on the shores of Puerto Princesa, sailed through the shattered islands of El Nido, dived into the ghostly wrecks of Coron, and now we've come full circle, back to the beginning. Palawan isn't just a place you visit, it's something you carry with you. Palawan is often called the last frontier, but maybe that's not because it's far or untouched. Maybe it's because it reminds us of what we once were, and what we could still be. In every reef, every mangrove, every hidden lagoon, there's a heartbeat that connects everything. Here, the land doesn't dominate the sea, it dances with it, the people.